All right, module one, here we go. Let's dive in. So we're going to start with a lay of the LinkedIn land. Let's see where it's at today and where it's been. On the whole, we know that it's growing dramatically year over year, and that is kind of exponentially happening over the last few years as LinkedIn competes with many more features than it has in the past, and as a really relevant business tool, not just a professional networking tool. So it's going to be at 750 million global users very soon. I'm quite sure of it. And it'll be broaching that billion user mark within the next couple of years, if not sooner. We see these things happen very quickly, and there's no reason that LinkedIn can't follow that same trajectory, especially as professionals feel like it is a place that it's safe for work. They can be on it. They can really be utilizing it as a business networking tool. Unlike, Instagram, Facebook is more, what we think of utilizing as a person, a user, to be entertained, to take a break from our day to day, from our job, from our inbox, whatever. But we go to LinkedIn for business opportunities as often, okay, not as often, but much like in the same way that we go to our inbox, that we go to, networking events, conferences. We go to LinkedIn for business growth opportunities. And we're doing that more and more as we exist in a more virtual world past 2020 than we had pre-COVID and all the rest of it. So expect LinkedIn to continue to grow and just recognize how many people are using it daily. That is the key here, daily. We also know how many students, college grads, decision makers are on LinkedIn. We do have a bit more male users currently, but I don't think that that will stay the same either, as we have uptake in every international locale and again across wide ranging industries as opposed to what we saw several years ago that was a little bit more niche in white collar or traditionally, professional industries as opposed to the broad swath. So we're thinking about these numbers and we know that the user base is there. Why do we care? Because it doesn't matter what we choose to do in our marketing mix today, as long as we go where the attention is. Where are your audience's eyeballs? Where are they spending their time? In feed, in screen, streaming, it doesn't matter. You just have to know it and you got to show up there. Because very rarely anymore are we going to our computers and typing in www.barkbox.com or hairisus.com. We are being led places. This is like inbound marketing. We're taken places because of where we're going in our travels. And we're no longer actually thinking to go find them on our own or, seeing some kind of static billboard as we drive by it on the highway or a TV commercial and then being able to, instantly be on their page to learn more and buy or subscribe or book an appointment. So if we can bring our brand to the places where people already are, amen. And this is social media 101. So hang on a minute because it gets even better and there's a purple unicorn perfectly linked in. Not really, but hey, we're going to expand LinkedIn here today. So the decision-making authority here is really key. You've got more professionals, more high-level decision makers that are showing up on LinkedIn on a regular basis to grow their brand or to expand their own network or showcase their expertise than of course you do on other platforms that are more, again, entertainment based. So that decision-making authority is key if we're trying to show up there and build our brand awareness. But most notably, this is the mic drop and it's coming at you early, like first half of module one. LinkedIn posts reach an estimated 9 billion people every month. So the frequency with which we're on there and the amount of reach that we're hit with, this is how often people are seeing posts, 9 billion times. With most of that content coming from less than 100 million people, individuals, companies. What does that equate to? 1.1%. So out of 100 LinkedIn users, and I'm going to count myself in the 99 here, as usual, because I'm not creating content on LinkedIn like I should be. And yet at the same time, I see the same, as I mentioned, posts all the time with the same people posting. So I challenge you to, you can close your eyes again or not, but ask yourself that same question. And part B, why aren't you creating content on LinkedIn? Why aren't you part of the 1%? This is your chance, by the way, to get into the 1%. So LinkedIn has a tiny fraction of content creators and not a lot of content. compared to our competitor platforms, in particular Instagram and Facebook today. The filtering of the algorithm as a result is not so strong because it doesn't have to filter so much garbage or content. It doesn't have to pick and choose quite so deeply what it shows. And thus, if you benchmark and pay attention to the reach of your posts, both as a person on LinkedIn, if you're posting on your personal profile or from your personal profile, or if you're posting as a company, I really challenge you to take note of what your organic reach is and then compare that to an organic reach post on Facebook or Instagram, which is for many of us less than 1% unless we're paying to play. For smaller companies just getting started, you might have 10% organic reach, meaning that if you have 1,000 followers on Facebook, Instagram, 100 of those people only are even being served your post in the newsfeed. And out of those 100, if you're lucky and it was really great, 10% might engage. So you've got 10 people doing something with a post that you really carefully crafted and curated and strategized, like barf. But if we can either boost that a little bit, as we talk about a lot on Facebook, Instagram, or utilize LinkedIn's massive organic reach, well, obviously apples to oranges in a really positive way. So big opportunity here. And this won't be the case forever. This is back where Instagram was 4 or 5 years ago, where we could really start to see a difference as a brand and make our mark on Instagram if we got on there and we understood the platform and the right features, posts, and opportunities in the early stages. And ironically, LinkedIn's been around a long time, but it's still there. And I'm going to show you why. It has to do with all the business features that we haven't fully dove into yet. Before we head into module 2 and look at all of those exciting things, including our steps to success, I want to just hop over to the platform for a second here. This should be pretty familiar to you. If you are a user of any kind, you have obviously had a LinkedIn page and you've seen every kind of post, but I just want to really point out to you what's happening here. So a few things right when we arrive. We're on a desktop screen, obviously. This is going to look different on your mobile, and the mobile app is awesome. Make sure that you have the LinkedIn mobile app, and I really encourage you to spend some time in it. The fastest way to lose interest in a platform or not believe in it is just to simply not spend time on it. And to find inspiration on it is easy when you see what other people are posting. It's the same way if you're not sure what to blog about. Go read some blogs, and before you know it, you've got lots of ideas. So it's actually really fun when you get to know it and you see it. But let's just take a quick snapshot of here of what's happening. Of course, you know, you're going to set up your platform and you're going to fill it out with everything that you need to when you go into your own personal profile and you edit and you give LinkedIn what it wants. The more complete your profile, the more reach your posts are going to have, for one, because you're a little bit more trusted, relevant, and complete as a human as compared to being kind of seen as a bot in LinkedIn's eyes. We're not going to see many posts here if I scroll my feed that have a blank avatar or missing profile information. So it truly does make a difference. And that's why they say your profile is only 90% complete. So try to flesh that out if you can. Of course, we want to get to know other things. Your network is probably pretty big by now if you've accepted a lot of LinkedIn invitations or doled them out yourself over the years. Jobs goes without saying, there's lots in there. Messaging, let's not get too deep into messaging here, but we all know what they look like and we can do so much better. This is not how you LinkedIn market, but we'll come back to that when we talk about reach. But most of us have lost faith in LinkedIn, or we've had to mute a few conversations because we're getting a lot of spam in our inbox. And trust me, I get it. And then what's up here in our little waffle? Well, the work tools. So if you haven't set up your business page yet, this is where you're going to do it. And it's way buried at the bottom, but you can also Google it and you'll find your way there. And that's how we create a company page. And of course, they try to make it really easy on you to go through the steps to do that. But also we can focus here on groups. And LinkedIn Learning is another pretty cool place to go if you want. They've got a fantastic suite of courses now that they purchased lynda.com. So LinkedIn is not short on training of all industries. It's unbelievable, actually. And then groups. We'll get into that as well, but this is where we go to do it. Beyond that, of course, when you have your page, we'll come into the page in a minute and we'll be looking at all the various tools within this. And a few other things here too, including business solutions, the marketing solutions. We'll be looking at the campaign manager and a few other exciting places. But first things first, let's just make sure we're aware of what's happening in our home feed. We've got a few ad placements. Actually, this is just news, which is kind of nice. And they do this so that they're helping us generate some content is truly what's happening there. We've got a few more ad placements. I can add a few more things to my feed. And I find this really impressive because I'm not being bombarded with sidebar ads. But I will say, let's take a little count here of how many promoted posts. There's my boyfriend, Gary Vaynerchuk. I follow him. That's not even a promoted post, but check it. He just posted this. Oh, that's a week old. So the algorithm is working at play, much like Instagram. It is no longer chronological. If something performs well, it's going to show up at the top of your feed. And that's our A1 goal. You want to have that post live on, and Instagram's going to serve it up. Sorry, LinkedIn's going to serve it up because it knows it's doing well, and it wants to serve people content that keeps them coming back to the platform. So we'll take note of that. Obviously, Gary Vaynerchuk has a lot of people following him. And so he's had a huge amount of reach on that post, but that's not coming from his business page. Why do I know that? Sorry to scroll up one more time. I know this because it's a person. I don't see that it's a business, much like Newton Investment Management, which has 11,000 followers. So that's their business page. And it's a promoted post. I can see right here, it's auto playing because they loaded it up as a video. It's not coming from YouTube. It's an actual MP4 or movie that they loaded in to LinkedIn as a video post. And thus it's auto playing, and it looks pretty good. Be the first to react. Sorry to say that your ad is not doing so well just yet. However, that's all about quality content and time that ad will run for, or that promoted post, which is a type of ad. So let's see, we've got post, ad, post. LinkedIn is serving me up a couple of job recommends. I could tell it I'm not interested in this type of content if I wanted to, and I can really start to curate my feed for a great user experience. Awesome. Ad with an apply now as the call to action. Really interesting that as soon as we pay to play, we get all sorts of choices. Really taking note here of individuals that are reposting company posts. Unbelievable organic reach. Let me say that again. As a user, as a human user, not a business page, my organic reach is higher because I'm not a business that's promoting my content and pushing oftentimes promotional messages on users. I'm a user spreading posts, education, entertainment, information, whatever it is. My posts will be seen more often than a company's post will. So a great way to repurpose content, of course, is as users or company employees, contractors, etc. And I'll show you how we can really easily alert them when we've posted a new post. So you get the idea here. We've got a huge range. We're not seeing the cat memes again, but there is room for personality. Don't be afraid of that. We can post all sorts of different types of content like, polls, videos, albums, carousels, links to articles, which makes a whole lot of sense. If we're Forbes.com and we have 15 million followers of our LinkedIn page, which is incredible. We can easily, of course, they're going to post that 13 minutes ago. They've had a few reactions so far, and I can easily choose from one of these fun little buttons, and it's going to prompt my response. So that makes it even easier for me to engage with the post. So you get the idea here, but we've got to take a look at what's resonating with us, because the question remains, doesn't matter what platform we're talking about. What would you engage with and share, comment, follow, click on to get to their website if it was, if you're the user? And we need to take off our marketing hat and our business ownership hat and put on that of the user that doesn't know us, maybe hasn't ever heard of us, and sure doesn't speak our language or our technical jargon. And are they going to understand what we're saying? And does it resonate? Or is it just kind of more garbage? So with that, I'm going to shift back and we're going to head into module 2, but I want to just get you thinking about how LinkedIn is showing up for you, what kind of posts you're engaging with, and how you're going to work it into your inspirational calendar before we start using it and posting to it. Take some time, maybe right now or tonight, and dive into what it is you're seeing in your feed. Thank you, and I will see you over in module number 2.